like to introduce myself and what you'll be watching on this video. I have been practicing various energetic healing techniques for over 30 years. I have a master's degree in Oriental medicine and I'm a former acupuncturist. But instead of sticking people with needles now, what I do is I help people release the emotional impact from a traumatic experience. And I've been doing that for quite a while. It's a combination of many modalities that I have learned. I'm also the author of this book, The Super Quack, Stories of Healing from Out of Left Field. And in this book, I recount some of my more unusual cases and I share a couple of my own personal mystical experiences that I've had. So this video that you're going to be watching is with Norma, and I have such respect and gratitude for Norma for being willing to share this very personal story in this very public way. Norma's first memory is a traumatic memory of being in the crib. She was crying. It was late at night. Her father came into the room. He was very angry, and he shot her in the face with seltzer from a seltzer bottle, water. And she believes that this was the beginning of the belief that she's unlovable and she's too much trouble. So we do a lot of work to release the emotional impact of that. And at the end of this video, we do a tapping technique. Now this tapping technique, it's called EFT, and it's with specific wording for what she has told me is going on with her. But if this video brings up any emotional charge with you from your own personal experiences, then tap along and use your wording, your truth, in order to release that and tap in what you would like to be true. That's the most important thing. So with that, here's the video.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so go ahead and tell me one of the stories. And as you're doing that, I want you to just mention, I'm going to take some notes here. I want you to mention to me what the emotion is, where you feel it, and the intensity. And then after you tell your whole story, we'll go through and we'll clear each one of these one by one.
Yeah. So I guess I'll start with the first one. And I can't tell you how many times I've worked with this story in tapping as well as, so it's my earliest memory. And I know it's a true memory because I mentioned it once to my parents and my father was quite upset that I remembered it. So I'm in the crib, I'm a baby. I'm thinking one or less. And it's the middle of the night and I'm crying and my father comes in enraged into the room with one of those seltzer siphons, you know what I'm talking about, that you squirt? And he squirts me in the face with it. And whatever this emotion is, where do you feel it in your body? Or do you notice a place in your body? I feel it everywhere, but I'm starting to get a little bit of heartburn. But really in my whole body, this energy drain, like I could just go to sleep right now. Wow. You know, what comes up is feeling unloved, a lack of alone and unloved.
Yeah. Okay.
That's what comes up.
All right. So,
unlovable.
Unlovable. Okay. So I'm going to have you go through the 8 positions that I showed you earlier. So let's start with number 1. Can you tune in right now to that feeling of unloved, unlovable, whatever this sense of this drained energy is right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tune into that and go ahead and touch the spots that I showed you. Good. If your arm gets tired up here, you can go ahead and kind of breathe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, right now, how does your body feel? Do you feel that energy drain? Is that the same? Any shifts in that?
No, that feels different. Yeah. I'm feeling fear.
Fear.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like when I was doing that, the wrist hold, what kept going through my mind was the thought was going, I know it's not rational, but the thought was like, you can't release this because then nobody will love you if you let go of this. This is what's keeping you safe, that went through my mind.
Okay, good observation.
Like my mother would do anything to not hold me, and the message was, stop bothering me already.
How's the heartburn right now?
There's a slight discomfort, but it's not strong. I wasn't aware of it till you asked it.
Okay. And say, I'm unlovable.
I'm unlovable.
What number do you give that?
It's pretty true. I'm going to say an 8.
8. Okay.
I could probably give it higher, but I don't want to be too dramatic.
Okay.
I don't want to be too high maintenance.
Okay, so now we're going to do the other positions. I want you to touch your fingertips to your palms, just gently, not so much like this.
I'm wondering if I feel neutral. I don't know. Okay. I had a memory of my own grandchild being ridiculed for crying at an event and me protecting her from that. But I'm not aware of a strong reaction.
Well, because you said that, I just want you to go through a little visualization. I want you to imagine that you're the granddaughter and you're yourself protecting you.
In the moment in the crib, or in the moment in which my granddaughter was made fun of?
In the moment that your granddaughter was made fun of.
Okay.
But it's actually you.
Okay.
Try that.
Okay, I think I'm done.
Okay. Now, let's go ahead and do the same thing or similar, but I want you this time to be the baby in the crib, and the protector you is protecting you and telling you whatever it is, telling the baby whatever the baby needs to hear.
Okay.
Okay. How's your energy level right now? Does it still?
Yeah, I feel much better.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how's the heartburn?
I'd say it's very, I'm not sure. I'd give it a half, maybe.
Oh. So tell the story from the beginning again and stop when you feel an energetic charge.
Should I continue to hold my hands like this?
No, you don't have to hold your hands. That's fine.
So I'm in the crib and I'm crying. It's the middle of the night.
Is there a charge there?
Mm-hmm.
So even okay, we might
the
have
heartburn's coming back.
Ah.
Yeah.
So let's just start with that one. Do you know why you were crying? If you were to guess, why might you?
Well, my guess is when I was comforting myself per your instructions, I felt a stomach ache as I was comforting myself. Like either my stomach was upset or I needed to have a bowel movement or something like that. It
Okay.
felt like I was in physical discomfort.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go through that and see if I want you to hold something. Put one hand on your stomach.
Okay.
And the other one on your forehead. And so you're the baby again that's not feeling well physically. So while you're doing that, let me go through and see if we can release some of this charge?
I'm going to say something that, and I know you know this, but I'm going to preface it by saying that what I am about to say is completely about me. It has nothing to do with the players in what I'm about to say. That outside the car and nobody's paying attention to me, and moments that I've had that like that throughout my life, where no matter what I say to people, they don't seem to register that I'm not well and that I need help. And I was struck by that. I was really struck that I'm still there, that I'm still giving off vibes. I'm fine. I don't need anything. I'm not thinking that. I'm not feeling it.
Yeah.
But clearly, that's the vibe I'm giving out.
I'm getting big chills. You say, I'm getting big chills, which is my confirmation that this is a really big issue.
Yeah, and that's what was going through my mind. I feel like I'm going to cry now, that when we were doing the stomach and the thing, is like I was reminded of that. Like, that's still happening.
Okay. Say those words again.
So I became aware that I'm still giving off these vibes that almost like as if stay away. I don't know if it's stay away or I'm fine. I'm okay.
Okay. So I'm going to have you say two different sentences, and if neither one of these is it, then you come up with your own. Nobody is aware of my pain. Say that out loud.
Nobody is aware of my pain.
And then the other one is nobody cares about me.
Nobody cares about me.
Are either of those like the main?
Both of those feel very charged, yeah.
Okay.
I didn't like saying it, and it felt very emotional.
Yeah.
And it also feels very babyish, very childish to say that. Like, why should they? You know, I'm a grown-up.
Yeah, well, we're throwing that out the window.
I understand, but that's the way it feels.
This is, and this is the baby, possibly, that recognizes this pain. So that's what's still alive in you, yeah. So
it's more I'm unlovable and I'm too much trouble.
And I'm too much trouble. Okay. Well, let's get that out of there. So we're going to do all of these positions again with that phrase. So I just like a mantra in your head or out loud, whichever feels better to you. I want you to just keep repeating that. So we're going to start with these positions again. Good. I'm unlovable and I'm too much. Okay, now say it out loud.
I'm unlovable and I'm too much trouble.
And how does that feel?
I think that feels better. Let me see. I'm unlovable and I'm too much trouble. No, I think definitely something has shifted. Signs of release.
Have you tapped on those statements before?
I don't know. I think so. They're not like new statements to me. I know that I've tapped on this incident. I mean, I don't know if I've tapped or done optimal EFT. I mean, I've done something on them. Why? Just wondering.
Just wondering. Yeah.
Well, you know, for a lot of the work that I did on these incidents had to do with rage and resentment at my parents, especially my father, then my mother for not protecting me. But it was only when I wrote it to you that I became aware of the shame of the, like, wow, there's like, I deserve that. I was a difficult baby. I was just too much trouble.
Does that feel true still?
Not so much, you know. I'm sort of remembering members of my family and even friends of the family talking about me as a child in derogatory ways. And I'm thinking, you know what? You guys are really messed up. It's not me, it's you. I'm not sure I believe it completely, but I'm having those thoughts. You know what?
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't think that's the case.
Okay, so let's go back to the whole story, and you're crying, you're in your crib alone and you're crying, and tell me, is there a charge with that?
There's a sense of loneliness when I see myself crying in the crib.
Okay.
Or feeling
so that's
alone.
A different emotion that we haven't worked
Yeah.
on. Let me write that down. Okay. Other than lonely, is the shame, I don't know at what point you were feeling shame, but is that there?
No, I think I can. You know, I'm in the crib and I'm crying. You know, it used to be like even just saying that brought about like, oh God, that's embarrassing to say that I was a crying baby.
That's right. You should be very ashamed for being a crying baby.
That's exactly how it felt. It's very annoying. Yeah. But I don't know. Now it's like, well, yeah, I was a baby.
Good.
How else do you tell people that you need something?
Right. Right. You couldn't text them. Okay, so go on with the story.
So I'm crying in the crib, and my father comes in with one of those seltzer siphons and squirts me in the face, and he's really angry. And I think my mother's behind him, trying to stop him, but not very hard or effectively.
And what are you feeling right now?
I want to feel compassion for my parents, but I don't.
Yeah, we're not there yet. A baby isn't going to feel compassion. We're coming from the baby's point of view.
Yeah. I think I'm mad.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
We haven't worked with that one either. Good. I'm getting chills on that one. I think there is anger there. Sure.
Okay.
How dare they do this? I was just crying because I was in pain, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now that part I've tapped on. I mean, like forever. So that's what surprises me that I'm still getting that.
Yeah. There's the loneliness and the being mad. Okay. And are there any other emotions that you can come up with right now?
Maybe some sadness that it's unfortunate. You know, this one incident. I mean, I'm sure it wasn't the only incident, but that some sadness that this one incident has marked me for so long, and in such a big way. You know, like it's really keeping me from connecting with people.
But that's the adult in you talking, right? That's not the baby.
No.
Did the baby have any sadness? That this is how it was treated? Okay, so let's try this again. We're going to try and catch these other emotions and see what happens. And then I would be curious about tapping on top of it to see if there's anything left over after. So let's start with this one again. So this loneliness, tap into this baby's loneliness and its anger and despair. That's a lot of emotion for this little one to have. And tell me about the loneliness. Is there any shift in that?
Yeah, I'm not feeling the despair right now. there's a little bit of anger, and it's in the form of, you guys just leave, just go away. You know, you're no help at all, kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with the story again, and notice where there's a charge. Start at the very beginning. You're crying.
So I'm a baby in the crib, and I'm crying in the middle of the night. Obviously woke my parents up, and they come in, and my father is holding one of those seltzer siphons, and he squirts me in the face with it. Yeah, I don't feel the charge right now. Yeah, I don't know. I think the proof will be if I'm telling somebody new the story.
Sure.
But yeah, but right, yeah. No, it feels very different.
I want you to we're going to do a little comedy here. I want you in your imagination to be in the crib, be the baby in the crib, and you have your own seltzer siphon. So you're armed. So when your dad comes in and he squirts you, you squirt him back, and you see how he likes it. So just for the heck of it, play this little thing in your mind and then tell me what happens after.
He's kind of laughing about it. Like, oh, wow, you really got me. Because part of that story is many years later, when I was about 5, I reminded him, oh, do you remember that time when I was crying and you squirted me? And he was devastated. And when I used to remember that, I felt so guilty about having made him feel bad by reminding, like I'm protecting him from feeling terrible.
So now when you think about the 5-year-old, does that still feel, is there shame in that or guilt in that? And making him feel bad?
I guess there is still a little bit, yeah. But when I was squirting him, that kind of took it away a little bit. Let me see now. No, there is. My father ended up committing suicide when he was 57, when I was 30. And so there's this sense of, I wasn't aware of feeling responsible for that, but that's the first thing that came up. It's like, well, okay, that was one nail in the coffin.
Okay. Well,
reminding her of that.
You want to go through that one?
Well, I don't want to, I know that you I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I don't want to be too much trouble. But
let's do it. Let's go ahead and do it.
What do you want me to do?
You're the 5-year-old, and you're reminding him, and you're making him feel guilty. How much is that? Be the 5-year-old and tell me how much guilt, 0 to 10.
It's about an 8.
Yeah, pretty high. Yeah. Okay, so let's do the points again. Touch these guys, and let me go through and see what we can do about this guilt. But go back to, I'm unlovable and I'm too much trouble.
I'm unlovable and I'm too much trouble. Yeah, one of the things I'm unlovable and I'm too much trouble. I'm sorry to report that it's still somewhat true. What I'm thinking about is, I should just keep my mouth shut. Why am I always saying what I think? Why do I have to do that? Why don't I just be quiet? Why can't I just be quiet? Kind of thing.
It's probably not from just one incident. So we only worked with one incident, right? You got to knock down the legs to knock down the whole tabletop, as Gary would say, right?
But it felt very significant regardless.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure it was. But there's probably other significant things as well. So, okay. the baby incident in the crib, how low has that gotten?
I'm feeling the sadness of it, that was a sad thing to happen. And it still feels defining, like somehow it's defining my life. But you could see, I'm sure you can hear it in my voice, that it's not as intense as it was when we first started talking about it. So something has changed.
Okay.
And man, I just can't stop thinking about the time that the hour's over, and I don't want you to, yeah.
Do you want to do one round of tapping? I find tapping,
if whatever you want to do is fine with me. I'm open. Yeah.
When we throw comedy into it, I think does a huge amount of shifting.
All right.
So tell me, what's the part that's the most significant that you would like to not be there? What words, what thoughts, what pictures?
The words "I'm just a big baby" comes to mind. Like, don't be a big baby.
Is that from then?
I think so. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm remembering. Yeah, I think so. It's that time of my life where all the feedback was, you're just a lot of trouble. You're just, you're unpleasant. You're always unhappy. You're making us unhappy.
Okay, let's start with the side of the hand. Even though I'm a big baby.
Even though I'm a big baby.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
I love, accept, and forgive myself.
Even though I was a big baby then.
Even though I was a big baby then.
And maybe I'm a big baby now.
And maybe I'm a big baby now.
I'm still okay just as I am.
I'm still okay just as I am.
Even though I was a big baby
though I was a big baby.
And I was unlovable and too much trouble.
And I was unlovable and too much trouble.
I still love, accept, and forgive myself.
I still love, accept, and forgive myself.
I was a big baby.
I was a big baby.
I was too much trouble.
I was too much trouble.
I was unlovable.
I was unlovable.
I caused my parents a lot of grief.
I caused my parents a lot of grief.
I shouldn't have even been born.
I shouldn't have even been born.
I shouldn't even be here now.
I shouldn't even be here now.
Maybe that's not true.
Maybe that's not true.
Maybe it is true.
Maybe it is true.
The way my parents treated me shows I was a lot of trouble.
The way my parents treated me showed me I was a lot of trouble.
They didn't treat me like I was lovable.
They did not treat me like I was lovable.
I didn't feel lovable.
I didn't feel lovable.
I don't feel lovable now.
I don't feel lovable now.
I still feel like I'm too much trouble.
I still feel like I'm too much trouble.
I'm even causing Hoberleigh too much trouble trying to help me.
I'm even causing Hoberleigh too much trouble trying to help me.
She probably doesn't want to do this at all.
She probably is really sorry she offered to do this.
But here she is.
But here she is. It's too late for her now.
But maybe she wants to do this for me.
Maybe she wants to do this for me.
Maybe I'm not too much trouble.
Maybe I'm not too much trouble.
Maybe I'm worth it.
Maybe I'm worth it.
Maybe I'm the only one that thinks I'm not worth it.
Maybe I'm the only one who thinks I'm not worth it.
Maybe I'm the only one who thinks I'm not lovable.
Maybe I'm the only one who thinks I'm not lovable.
Maybe I should try loving myself.
Maybe I should try loving myself.
I might be very lovable.
I might be very lovable.
And I might be worth it.
And I might be worth it.
I deserve to be loved.
I deserve to be loved.
I'm not any more trouble than anyone else.
I'm not any more trouble than anyone else.
I only thought I was.
I only thought I was.
And that was a lie.
And that was a lie.
And I don't deserve to lie to myself anymore.
And I don't deserve to lie to myself anymore.
I choose to love myself.
I choose to love myself.
I choose to accept that I am lovable.
I choose to accept that I am lovable.
Even if I'm not.
Even if I'm not.
I'm still going to make that choice.
I'm still going to make that choice.
And I'm going to remind myself regularly that I am lovable.
And I'm going to remind myself regularly that I am lovable.
I deserve to be loved.
I deserve to be loved.
I deserve to love myself.
I deserve to love myself.
I'm worthy of loving myself.
I'm worthy of loving myself.
It's safe to love myself.
It's safe to love myself.
It's good for me to love myself.
It's good for me to love myself.
It's good for others for me to love myself.
It's good for others for me to love myself.
I am able to love myself.
I am able to love myself.
I'm willing to love myself.
I am willing to love myself.
I'm ready to love myself.
I'm ready to love myself.
I deserve to love myself.
I deserve to love myself.
I do 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 love myself.
Take a deep breath. How does that feel?
It feels productive, like that's the right direction to go in.
Were there any phrases that you just totally balked at that and it's like, no, I can't go there? Or did it kind of settle in?
The highest emotion, I think, was in the statements, maybe I am lovable, maybe I deserve to love myself, or maybe I deserve to be loved. I think those were the ones that were the most emotional for me. So I don't know if I'm not there yet, or maybe it'll, sometimes this work percolates, right?
So here's your homework.
Okay.
You're going to tell the baby story to at least one other person. And if not, then to yourself. Say it out loud and write down where the charges are and, the words, the phrases, the pictures, and how much of a charge you have. And then I want you to tap on yourself for loving yourself, being lovable, and being worthy. Whatever feels like isn't true, tap it in.
Okay.
See how you feel. And we'll be in contact, and then we'll set up another session in a few days and go from there, okay?
Thank you so much, Hoberleigh.
My pleasure.